students, continuing our discussions about our components of financial system. So we have already discussed that under components of financial system we have studied about the main component of financial system, your what? Financial market. So under financial market we have divided market in two parts. One will be your money market and second point will be your capital market. So now we will continue our discussion. Now we will start our discussion regarding your capital market. An important aspect, an important part of your financial market in India is your capital market. It's very interesting to discuss that. If we have a clear-cut distinction between money market and capital market, money market usually deals with the short-term loans, money market usually deals with the short-term financial transactions, whereas capital market is the market where actually we usually deal with the long-term financial transactions. So we can say capital market is a market where we usually transact all our financial transactions in your medium-term and long-term financial transactions. Specifically, capital market is meant for long-term and medium-term financial transactions. That is your capital market. So when you talk about my financial market, definitely it is better that we will discuss the financial market under two heads. Any type of financial market we can discuss under two heads, and the two heads will be your lender side or sector, and second part will be your borrower sector, borrower side. It's a very simple one actually. When you talk about capital market or when you talk about your money market also, the point comes here. The first point will be your lender side and second point will be your borrower side. Definitely your financial transaction, financial activity, it is an activity that is being carried out between two parties. One will be your lender, one will be your borrower. So now it is interesting to discuss about your lender side and your borrower side. So let us talk that. Let us see how funds come, how capital is coming, how fund is coming from money to the capital market, and who are in the first part we will discuss about from which sources, from which funds, from which sector the capital will flow, the finance will flow to the capital market, and how the money, how the capital will be going to the borrower side, and who are the borrowers and how they are performing their activities. Now we will study it. You understood? Again I am telling you, capital market is a market that usually deals with the long-term financial transactions, and now it is interesting to discuss the capital market, the functioning of capital market under two heads. One will be your lender side. For example, who are the main agents, who are the main organizations that deals with the lending activity, and second point is your borrower side. Who are the organizations, who are the institutions that deals with the borrowing side. So money market we can say it is a specific, it deals with the institutional arrangements. It deals with the financial or institutional arrangement between the lender side and the borrower side. So when you talk about the lender side, if you talk about the lender side, then we can classify the lender side under two heads. One will be your organized sector, and number two will be your unorganized sector. You understood? Like your money market. Remember, we have studied about money market, you have studied about the components of money market, you have studied about the organized and unorganized sector of money market. Exactly like that also we will discuss about the organized and unorganized sector of the capital market. I told you that organized sector is that sector whose activities are regularly monitored, whose activities are regularly checked, supervised by the RBI, and unorganized sector is that sector whose activities are regularly not checked, whose activities are not under the control of RBI. Let me repeat that sentence once again. Organized sector is that one whose activities are under the control of RBI, whose activities are under the direct purview of the RBI. Unorganized sector is that one where the activities are not under the control of RBI. Chalo. When you talk about the organized sector, actually we can analyze organized sectors. Actually we can analyze the organized sector under two heads. One will be your stock market, stock security and stock market. So we can analyze, we will discuss our organized sector discussion under security and stock markets. When you talk about security and stock market, it is a market which provides securities, which deals with shares, which deals with securities. You understood? Security market, stock market is a market which usually deals with the securities, stocks, debentures like that. And this security market is again divided in two parts. One will be your gilt-edged security and one is your corporate security market. Remember one thing, the security market in India is being classified under two heads. One will be your gilt-edged security market and one will be your corporate security market. Understood? One will be your, let me write that, gilt-edged market. One will be your corporate security market. So we can study the security markets. First one, the security market. We can study the security market in two words. One will be your gilt-edged market, one will be your corporate security market. What is that? Gilt-edged market. Gilt-edged security market is a market which consists government and semi-government organizations. Remember one thing. Gilt-edged security market is that market which consists many government and semi-organized government organizations. In those markets, the value of the security almost remains stable. I have told 2 points about the gilt-edged security market. Gilt-edged security market, remember one thing, security market is a part of organized sector. Under security market, security or stock market is that market which deals with securities, which deals with stocks, which deals with debentures market in India. Security market is further classified under two heads. One will be your gilt-edged security market and number two will be your corporate security market. Gilt-edged security market is that market where the market is being controlled, the market is being managed by the government and semi-government organizations, and in this market actually the value of the security remains almost stable. Understood? On the other hand, corporate security market is that market where which is being carried out, which is being managed by different private companies, that is called your corporate security market. Understood? One will be your gilt-edged security market and second point here, corporate security market. Corporate security market is being managed by the private individuals, private firms, and the value of security fluctuates. The value of security fluctuates, changes from time to time. I hope you have a clear-cut distinction about this one. One is your gilt-edged security market, one will be your corporate security market. Understood? This is the first point. This is the first point of organized sector. Security market will come under the first point. Security market will come under the first point of that. Now, regarding the second point, this is your first point. Regarding second point, we can tell non-banking financial institutions. So the second part of organized sector of capital market will be coming as your non-banking financial institutions. First of all, what do you mean by non-banking financial institutions? Let me tell you that. What do you mean by non-banking financial institutions? Non-banking financial institutions or organizations are those who do not deal with demand deposits from the public. They are different from the banks on the ground. They are different from the banks on the ground that non-banking financial institutions, they do not deal with the demand deposits of the public. They manage their activities. They manage their activities from the saving deposits. They manage their activities from the saving deposits and advances loan to the public. They never deal with the demand deposits like the banks. So on one point, the non-banking financial intermediaries non-banking financial institutions can be distinguished from the banks in the point that whereas banks deals with demand deposits, but non-banking financial institutions do not deal with the demand deposits. They manage their activities by saving deposits actually, and after that the advances loan to the public and the advances loan to the needy sections. And a non-banking financial institution, again it is classified under two heads. One will be your developmental organization. Second point will be your investment institution. Is that clear? I told you that when you talk about non-banking financial institutions are being classified under two heads for our discussion. Non-banking financial institutions can be classified as, one will be your developmental organizations and second point will be your investment institutions. Development organizations, for example. Development organizations are those organizations, they are the institutions who mainly provide long-term and medium-term financial requirement. Understood? We are discussing under the lender side. So specifically, they are the organizations who actually supply fund. They are the organizations who supply fund. So that is why they are on the lender side. So developmental organizations are those organizations who mainly deal with medium-term and long-term financial requirement. Particularly they deal with long-term and medium-term financial requirement to various private sector industrial firms. So you should understand development organizations are mainly consisting those organizations who specifically deals with medium and long-term financial. Now, who will be under the category of developmental organizations? Institutions like, let me tell you the names like that: IDBI, Industrial Development Bank of India, ICICI Bank will come under the State Financial Corporation, Small Scale Industrial Development Bank of India, then SIDC, State Industrial Development Corporations. I have told 5 to 6 names. I will repeat once again: IDBI, Industrial Development Bank of India, ICICI, State Financial Corporations, SIDBI, Small Scale Industrial Development Bank of India, SIDC, State Industrial Development Corporations are the some of the organizations. Actually, I told you that they will come under the category of developmental organization. There is specific tasks, there is specific area is that to provide long-term and medium-term financial requirement to the private sector firms for the development. So I told the names now. So their basic activity is providing long-term or medium-term loans. First category. You understood? The first category of non-banking financial institutions will be the point of your developmental organization. When you talk about second category, that is your investment institutions. Investment institutions are those institutions which help the people by investing their money in different sectors, in different organizations, in different institutions. That is why they are called your investment institutions. Investment institutions may be in the form of UTI, Unit Trust of India. Investment institutions may be in the form of LIC, life insurance corporations who are taking insurance, who are making insurance on the life of the public, and investment organizations, investment institutions may be in the form of GIC, General Insurance Corporations. General Insurance Corporations are those who are the insurance companies who makes insurance on general things, who makes insurance on the goods and services like that. Understood? So investment institutions are those who specifically help people by investing their money in different investing companies, in different investment groups. And the developed investment institutions may be in the form of UTI, may be in the form of LIC, may be in the form of your general insurance company. General insurance company in the sense National Insurance Corporation of India, New India Insurance Company, the Oriental Insurance Company, like this. They are the groups that belong to general insurance companies. In India, general insurance companies are being classified under 4 heads. They are specially dealing with the general insurance, and in India, LIC is one. Life Insurance Corporation of India, it is being taking into 250 farms, 250 private companies. LIC is being nationalized by the government of India, and it is the sole responsibility of providing life insurance on behalf of the government corporation. It is a corporation actually. Understood? So we have discussed about the non-banking financial intermediaries. Understood? So now we have come with a discussion of your organized sector. One is your security market, one is your non-banking financial intermediaries. Now it is over. Now second part we will discuss about, that is your unorganized sector. Unorganized sector, as we have discussed in the money market itself, unorganized sector is that sector whose activities are not being under the control of RBI, whose activities are not under the jurisdiction of RBI, their activities are not being managed by RBI, they are not being reporting to the RBI. So they are the sectors, they are the institutions, those who are not coming under the direct control of RBI. And the unorganized sector may include indigenous banks, money lenders, cheat funds, same thing. We have discussed about the unorganized sector in money market, with the same discussion continues over here, that unorganized sector is that sector whose activities are not under the control of RBI, and it includes what? Indigenous banks, it includes your cheat funds, it includes money taken from relatives, friends, it includes money from your money lenders. This is the point of your unorganized sector. So you have discussed about the first part, that is your lender side or lender sector. Who are the persons, who are the organizations, who are the institutions who are contributing for the supply of capital market. You understood? They are the organizations who are playing a key role in supplying fund to the capital market. In the second part, we will discuss about the who are the institutions, who are the organizations who demand money from the capital market. Discussing further about the borrower side, we will discuss about the borrower side actually. When you discuss about borrower side, I mentioned you that money market is a market that provides loans for long term and medium term purposes. So now we will discuss how and who are the institutions, who are the organizations that is demanding long term and medium term money from the money market. So on the borrower side, when you talk about the borrower side, it is your first, the point will come your government sector. Government nowadays playing an important role in the modern dynamic society. Government, when you talk about government in India, it's got to talk about government at three structure. Central government is there at central level, state government is there at state level, and local government is there at your municipal and your village level. You understand? When you talk about government in India, as you are living in a federal country, in India, the government setup in India is under three set of government is there. One will be your central government, one will be your state government, one will be your local government. Central government at central level, state government at state level, local government at local level. So all types of developmental and non-developmental expenditure. Understood? The activities of all types of developmental expenditure and non-developmental expenditure of the government sector to finance both developmental and non-developmental expenditure, government borrows money from the capital market, that is coming under government sector. You have to remember two things over here, that when you talk about government sector who are playing an important source from borrower side, then you should think that government in India is functioning at three levels. One will be your central government functioning at the top level, functioning at central level. One will be your state government functioning at different state headquarters actually, and one will be your local government made for municipalities, government made for municipal corporations, government made for urban local bodies, government made for village gram panchayats will be coming under local self government. That is also part of the government sector. Here, government, when you talk about government, we have explained about the role of central government, we have explained about state government, we have explained about the local government. All types of government are performing their activities, and the expenditure may be classified under developmental expenditure and non-developmental expenditure. Take for example, when you talk about developmental expenditure includes the expenditure made for provision of basic services like health, education, sanitation, drinking water, all type of expenditure that is being carried out, that is being met out, that is being operated by the government. that is coming under the developmental expenditure. And second point is your non-developmental expenditure. All types of expenditure which are government's routine expenditure, for example, expenditure on administration, expenditure on police, expenditure on defense items, expenditure on social security measures, that is a part of your non-developmental expenditure. You understood? One will be your developmental expenditure, one will be your non-developmental expenditure. The basic point of the difference between the developmental expenditure and non-developmental expenditure is that while you talk about developmental expenditure, the activities are directly contributing to the GDP, but in non-developmental expenditure, here the activities are not directly linked to GDP, rather it helps in the process of economic development. You understood? So, all types of developmental and non-developmental activities. To finance all type of developmental and non-developmental activities, government at three levels, central, state, local level are borrowing money on a long-term basis, on a medium-term basis. That is a part of your borrow side. Understood? Government sector. So, government is the main part of the borrower side. Government is the main part from the debtor side. We can say that actually. After government, then we can say about your corporate sector. The second part, the last part from borrower side is your corporate sector. The corporate sector may be your private sector firms, or the corporate sector may be the government sector firms. Corporate sector may be government, corporate sector may be also private sector firms. So, the all type of firms, all type of organizations, all type of institutions, it may be government, it may be private. So, all are the part of the money market from the borrower side, money market from the debtor side. So, when they borrow money from developmental institutions, who are the institutions? Now, as you discussed that developmental institutions like IDBI, ICC, then State Finance Corporation, then SIDBI, State Small Scale Industrial Development Bank of India, they are the institutions who are financing the corporate sector. So, actually the corporate sector they are getting money from the two sources. One will be your development organizations, and second point will be your investment institutions. So, we can say that corporate sector is linked to all the two segments, that is your developmental organizations, and second point is your investment institutions. So, mainly we can say that government and corporate sector constitute the main part of the borrower side or the main part of the debtor side. So, we have moreover discussed about capital market under 2 years. Capital market, I told you that it is a market that is related to for the long term and medium term financial requirements actually, and we have analyzed our discussion under 2 years. One will be your lender sides, one will be under the lender side, and second point will be your borrower side. On lender side, we have discussed about organized sector, we have discussed about unorganized sector, and on the borrower side, we have discussed about the government sector, and we have discussed about the corporate sector. We have discussed in the organized sector, we have discussed about the stock market, classification of stock market under 2 years, gilt-edged market and your corporate security market. Under gilt-edged market, that is the security market that is being carried out by the government and semi-government organizations. Here, the value of security almost remains stable, whereas corporate security market is the market which is managed by the corporate entities. Here, the value of security fluctuates over period of time. Second part, we have discussed about non-banking financial institutions. Under non-banking financial institutions, we have discussed about developmental organizations and investment institutions. And in the last part, we discussed about unorganized sector. We have classified that. Unorganized sector includes private indigenous banks, discuss about chit funds, we discuss about money lenders under the lender side. On the borrower side, as usual, we have discussed that it is the government sector and the corporate sector who are playing a key role on the demand side. This refers to supply side. Let me write that. This is your supply side of money market. We can say this is your supply side of money market. This is your demand side of money market. Understood? This is the supply side of money market. This is the demand side of money market. So overall, we have come to a conclusion. We have come to a final discussion about your money market. The discussion of money market and capital market is now over for you. I hope you understand each and every concept very clearly. Thank you very much for your time.